So without much ado, I'll introduce you to Patrick Charlton, who's a faculty member of many years and teaching in the School of Business, and to John Omura, who's been with us for quite a while as well in the area of applied research. And we're very fortunate to also have a student in the graphic arts program with us, Christine Volden, who is going to be assisting as well. So without much ado, I'm just going to hand it over to the facilitators and let you take over. And I'm just going to unshare my screen. Enjoy.
Thank you, Val. Thank you, Val, and thanks for having us. So I'm really excited to share this session on entitled "Add a Spark to Remote Learning" or remote teaching. Before I start, I would ask the crowd, just to get a sense on people in our virtual room. Lynn, are you a faculty member with the college? You can feel free to. Okay, yes. Okay, so this. So that's good. So this the session will apply to from a context of teaching a remote session.
So Patrick, just so you know, I'm also a participant in here, and I have participated with John in the past doing the my portfolio, and also I teach. I teach part-time. I'm teaching in the OSLT program, and so I also have my teacher lens on.
Excellent, good, because this is really the lens we took with this with this presentation. So thank you for sharing that. So can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, you see the Adobe. Okay, perfect. So so welcome to Add a Spark to Remote Teaching. This is a little agenda today. I'm going to just let you know who I am, or we're going to just introduce ourselves. I'd like to just cover briefly a little bit about the Adobe Digital Project Portfolio Project. I'd like to explain some use cases or show some examples of Spark pages. We're going to do an overview of how to set up an Adobe account if necessary, and really the bulk of the next 40 minutes would really be a demonstration on how to create a Spark page. And we're going to be using a context of an assignment outline today. So, and then if there's some time, we'll have a little bit of a Q&A. Before I go into about me, and one more question to Lynn, do you already have an Adobe Creative Cloud account set up with the college?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, excellent. So are you familiar with Spark? Have you used?
I've actually opened it up. I'd only briefly so far.
Okay, well, that's great. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll be really familiar with how to use Spark. So if you have that open on your browser, that would be great. We found that it would work really well. It works really well with these kind of sessions if you're following along or even building your own Spark page as we move ahead. Since we're an intimate crowd today, we have lots of helpers. So just a little bit about me. I'll just continue my Spark page here. So 10 years part-time teaching in the School of Business. I'm currently a coordinator in the marketing management grad certificate program. Personal side, I enjoy family time with my son and daughter, 15 and 13, and we do enjoy skiing. Not sure if we'll get too much skiing done this winter with all the restrictions. And I'm a very amateur drummer. Very amateur, but getting better with, especially during the pandemic with home time. And this is and I just want to point out that this is a Spark post that I created really quickly using Spark. Spark has 3 different features: post, page, and video. And this is something I quickly put together using post. So I just wanted to note that. Okay, and now a little bit about John, and I'm going to ask John to introduce himself.
Well, Lynn and I know each other pretty well. So Lynn knows that I work in applied research, and Lynn's also quite an experienced prof from the School of Media Design. So she may not have used Spark before, but I think she's got a lot of
Fantastic.
digital literacy aptitude, I would say.
Transferable skills.
Fantastic. And Lynn, you have a copy of this page. I shared it in the chat line. So feel free to, I've included embedded links to John's session yesterday. And all the workshop materials are included in the Spark page.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Patrick.
No, you're welcome. So here's actually using Spark Video. What's great about the page is you can embed the other applications within it. I created a quick video to represent the project that we undertook over the last 9 months, 10 months or so. There were 2 phases. So when we regrouped after the COVID came in, the COVID restrictions came in, we had to go remote. John was able to secure more funding from Adobe, and who is our partner in OCE. So I put this little video together just to introduce our phase 2 members into the program. So I'll play that just to get a reminder of what our project was about. So, can you hear that okay? I don't know if I maximized my...
It's a
Volume was
little
really low.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm going to, sorry, I forgot to stop share. I'm going
Optimize for
to
video.
optimize for video. Yes. Optimize, share, optimize, done. There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's good for us to learn too, right?
Yeah, those 2 little buttons at the
Lots of
bottom of
learnings.
Zoom, right? So I'm going to test again.
Welcome to phase 2 of the Adobe
How's the sound?
Much
Sounds
better.
good.
Okay.
Digital Portfolio Project. Project is a collaboration of Algonquin College, Applied Research and Innovation and Entrepreneurship Office, the library, Adobe, and the Ontario Centre of Excellence. The goal is to create awareness of Adobe Creative Cloud tools, develop digital literacy, and build professional portfolios for our student body. Let's reflect back to phase 1 of the project. Workflow elements designed by Jake Knapp, who wrote the book called Sprint. That's your special sticker. Yeah. That's the super vote. Yeah. And then I vote.
Just gives you a little bit of an idea of our project, and of course, John went into more depth yesterday. I've included John's session page as well in this presentation.
So easy to
Hey,
pull
Pat, I
in
have to
videos
say,
is what you're saying.
I have to say, looking at those videos of us in the lab in the Dare District made me feel homesick.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch
our
now.
face-to-face brainstorming
Yeah, the
sessions.
ideation boards and all the different colors, and I
Memories.
recognized a few people in there. So
Yeah. So actually, I'd like to introduce Christine. Again, I think we did our introductions at the beginning, but Christine, say hi again, please.
Hi, yeah. I guess I'll just do a little bit more of an in-depth, maybe for the sake of the recording, but yeah, so I'm Christine. I'm a third-year graphic design student and freelancer. I'm also in contract currently with the ITS department. I'm doing design work for them. I was really happy to be part of Pat and John's team this summer, doing design research and creating video tutorials on how to use Spark. While doing this, I quickly noticed from a design perspective just how much more engaging information was when it was on a Spark page. And I think that that's because I'm a visual learner. So I think that the downside of Brightspace is that it doesn't necessarily cater to visual learners. It's very common to see a text-heavy assignment description followed by like a few links or attachments, but they don't necessarily flow in order. So creating the assignment on a Spark page is really great because you can add that visual element and you'll see that you can control the flow or the order in which a student is reading or absorbing the content, and it ultimately reduces friction points along the way. So thanks for having me, and I guess I'll be here to support any questions regarding Spark along the way.
And now you know why I invited Christine to my session.
yeah, great
Amazingly
insight.
said. Thank you, Christine.
Thanks.
And thanks for being here and holding my hand. Christine was one of many of our team members. So we had graphic design students, we had a photography student, we had journalism students, business students. It was such a great, diverse group. I really, it was a very rewarding experience to work with both phases of this project. So moving into just a few examples. These are there for you to look at some of the digital portfolios that the team were able to put together. I'll quickly, press the first one here. I think this was actually Christine's student. It was actually a persona of a financial services student. So the idea was we were showing students how to represent themselves and complement their existing resumes with a digital portfolio, which is not too uncommon for media's design students. I'm sure you can attest, but not too common for other disciplines within the college. So the fantastic thing about this, it's super easy to put together, as you'll see in the workshop, and highly distributable. So you can really share this quite quickly just by sharing a link. Sorry, I'll just gonna scroll back down. So if I hear either my voice or something else out there. Okay. And then I'm going to show you a few more examples of more along the lines of what the workshop is going to be about today. So here's some examples of what I've been using Spark for with my teaching. I had a guest speaker a few weeks back. And since we can't get together and, we usually give a card or here's a parking pass, I created a Spark page to represent the visit. So in this case, it was for my social innovation course. Amber and Shannon run a coffee business called Equator Coffee. So I just kind of put this really quickly together got their logo, took a picture of our Zoom class, put some testimonials of what the students had sent in to me as part of the activity for the course. I had some pictures already from a previous visit to their coffee business. I was able to embed links to their website. So it became kind of a learning page as well as, hey, thank you for visiting us. And I was able to send the link to my guests and as a thank you afterwards. So I just wanted to keep that there for you, just so you can see that there's a multi-purposes with how you can use the Spark page. I mean, you can embed videos. This was a video that one of the guest speakers referenced the students wanted to have access to it. So at the end, I just put thank you and that kind of thing. So so again, there's so many different use cases for Spark. So I wanted to just kind of make reference to that as well. I've got an orientation page. I've used it for my orientation for the marketing management grad program. Here's a lesson plan example. And I wanted to also show you a lesson plan with an Adobe Rush video in it. Adobe Rush is an app that comes with the Creative Cloud. Don't judge me on the video, but I was just, excited to use the app. So I decided to create a little video of the lesson, just to introduce the lesson to the students so that they can watch beforehand. And then they have this full page based on our lesson discussion. And I would actually use the page in the actual virtual lesson instead of a slide deck. So I'll just and feel free to ask questions as I kind of speed through this. But if it's so right now I'm just showing you the page that I would distribute to students, so they have the ability to just kind of scroll. But in your own dashboard, you can use present mode, and you can use this as a PowerPoint basically. So you can just kind of go through through slides, through the different pages, and it acts more like a PowerPoint. So so that's kind of an idea of how I've been using. Any questions so far? Pretty good. Okay.
I actually have a question there,
Yes.
Patrick. I sort of didn't quite, I missed entirely the other day when you guys were talking about the links. So the presentations that you have are links, right? That are housed on the Adobe site. So just can you go over again for, it's always that teacher paranoia thing of I invest time, I create my content, and I really, really, really want to know that I'm going to be able to access that for the next bunch of years, that it isn't going to disappear into the ether. So what again was is there an assurance that when we invest this time that we'll be able to access our content? Or can we download it? Can I download the presentation I build and actually have the content?
Yeah, so you cannot download a Spark as a file. It is a link that stays, that has been assured to us by the Adobe contact that we have in John's session, because it was a question as well yesterday, right, John? That the link, even if so say Algonquin decides to cancel the license, as long as you keep your link code, they will not delete that information. So that's what we have so far.
That's the big answer. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, good. And what I'll show you too in the workshop is how to refresh your link and update the link, because that's a common thing. You know, year to year, you teach the same course. You're going to make changes. Oh no, I sent this link out and I want to change. Maybe after a week. You can just press update and it will actually refresh. So it's super easy that way. So I'm just going to present mode again. So I'll get right into it. Why use and I noticed we did receive another participant. Oh, we see a chair. That's it. Okay, well, maybe they'll show up. So why use Spark to create an outline? Well, the idea is your students may feel like they're reading a long, boring novel when they're reading your outlines. I know they definitely feel that way when I create an outline. I tend to go maybe too much detail. I tend to repeat myself often. This is an actual outline that I took to redevelop within a Spark page to make it a little bit easier to consume. So the idea is to go from here, okay, to what we're used to seeing. And it's okay to, and I'm not a big believer in killing traditional methods. I think we need it, especially to develop. That's essential. But let's try to maybe finesse it a bit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it into a format following a why, what, who, how, where, and when approach. And this was borrowed from some colleagues that presented at an Adobe education conference that we attended a couple of weeks ago. So I referenced that in the workshop notes. But basically, this is kind of what we want to go to. Something like this. So this assignment is called it's for a sales presentation or a professional selling course that I teach. And this one's a major project that is all encompassing, and there's about 4 deliverables. So you can see how there's a project overview. So that's the why. And then we go into the what. So what do they need to do for each step? The required elements of each step. So it's built as more of a superficial kind of overview with links to a detailed outline and rubric. So that would be the traditional document that we usually produce, but I want to kind of get the student there, I guess, more in a more digestible fashion. So there's 4 steps, by the way. So I just repeat those 4 steps. And within those 4 steps, I'm adding different pictures that represent each element of the assignment. So there's a bit of a flow. And then with the who, well, usually assignment is targeted to someone. In this case, the target audience is a business because we're selling to an organization. So this is the opportunity to really identify who are we, who's in our mind with regards to developing this assignment. And then the expectations on from a rubric. So again, I just put, for the case of this workshop, you can put more information here. I just put, again, a detailed link to a file that has all the traditional rubrics that we're used to. And then a bit of a guide on where to submit, where and when. And I just uploaded some pictures of Brightspace, circled, where the dates are, just as an example, put some logos in on some of the tools that we're using to develop our project to make it a bit more visual. And then a little spot for additional resources. In this case, I actually have examples that I provide my students on to give them some guidance. Part of the fourth part, if you have a presentation for an assignment, we actually have students videotape themselves. We have an example here of an actual student, Algonquin student, that videotaped themselves and gave us permission to share this their example. So that's the idea. And your student will have access. You would share this link, and I'll show you how to create that link. So they will have this. And actually, what I'll do is I'll just share that with you now. If you look at that link on your phone or any screen, it will adapt. So students will be able to kind of scroll through the rubric wherever they are and get that, or the outline, and wherever they are, and get that information they need. So for the purpose of the workshop, I thought we could put an outline together in a Spark form. So what I have here is a link to, you have a couple of choices or a couple of options. You can either do exactly what I just showed you with the material I showed you, or if you feel comfortable, grab one of your existing outlines. And I will show you how I built this one, and then you can just kind of build your own while we're doing this. So it's totally up to you. So if you want to follow verbatim what I put together, I added a link here to a Google Drive, and you should have access here to the Spark, our Spark workshop instructions. So this is an excellent document that I repurposed with permission from our colleagues from Adobe Spark conference, Shauna and Dr. Todd Taylor. And this is kind of a step-by-step. You guys can see my screen, right? It's step-by-step instructions on how to build exactly what I just showed you. But you would use these instructions. You can use these instructions to build any type of communication. So it's been designed to help you kind of navigate through those key features of Spark. So I would recommend you download this document so you can follow that. And then I have a text form of my my outline that I have purposed to put into a Spark. So when you get used to using Spark, you can kind of you'll start to get used to repurposing your text-based outlines. For example, I put banner up here because I know I'm going to put that into a banner representation in my Spark page. But what's great is what we really recommend is having a Word doc. That's where you're doing your content creation. You're organizing your information into a why, a what, and then a who, how, where, and when. Format, so there's flow. And what you'll see is what we're going to do is we're going to just copy and paste right into our Spark page as we're creating it. So please feel free to follow along with the workshop materials. Steve, you just showed up. Did you want to? Did you get the links to everything?
No, I haven't found them yet.
Okay, I'll share those links, or maybe Christine, can you share those links with Steve?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Christine.
You're in the chat.
Great. Thank you.
But Steve arrived later, so he might not have seen that. So I'll just jump right into building this page. So if you go into, so Lynn, are you in your Spark page browser? Or Spark?
Yeah, I just needed the link to the step-by-step. Sorry, I was
Okay.
trying to figure out which one that was.
Gotcha. So let me know when you have those downloaded. Lynn, are you going to build your own, or are you going to follow along with this example?
I actually, yeah, I was hoping to build one. I have a sort of basic page just sort of started, but my page goal is to make one that's visual. So yeah, mine is actually a presentation that I need to create that is completely visual.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so you're not going to have text in your page at all.
Yeah, it's not a text-based presentation. It's yeah, it's a different kind. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you. Well, you'll have information on how to do both.
Could you guys put the link to the step-by-step in the chat?
Yeah. So do you see the Google Drive?
Okay. Oh, okay. There we go.
Able to see that?
Thanks.
So you should see this take you to this Google Drive.
Okay.
And then it should be, if you download the Kaleidoscope 2020 Spark Workshop file, that will be the document.
Great. Thank you.
You have that there?
Hey, Pat, I clicked on the link from Christine and it just opened the document directly up on my browser.
So Christine's ahead of me.
Yeah.
So she shared that specific one. Okay. I'll share the actual drive as well, just to make sure you have the drive, because the drive has also, I put some pictures in there as if you choose to use them or not. I want to show you how to upload your own pictures, as well as use the free pictures that Adobe allows us to use, or it's through Unsplash in this case. So so if you go to your Adobe Spark page, I think we're all here then, right? Lynn, you
Yeah.
know how to get here? Perfect. So I'm just going to get my instructions up.
Probably
so
should
I can
ask
do it.
Steve Meyer. We should probably ask Steve Meyer if he knows how to open Adobe Spark. Steve, do you know how to open up Adobe Spark?
No, I haven't got there yet, but I'll figure it out.
Okay. So
just-
Steve, I'm just looking at the time. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead, and if there's any follow-up questions you have, I'm more than happy to walk you through that.
Yeah, I
as far as the
apologize. I
setup.
was late. I was just hoping I could get the recording later on, and I'll pick it up and go
Yeah,
from there.
Perfect.
It's no problem.
Yeah. No, that's no problem. Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be able to.
Yeah.
But I'm more than happy to follow up with you.
Okay, thank you.
So
Yeah.
once you get Spark, your Adobe Creative Cloud set up, you've got everything. You're in your Spark page. You would to start on a new project, you press on the blue button. So this blue button will be your go-to, your blue plus button. This is where you can build different types of content using the different apps. So what we're going to do we're using Spark Page. You can do a post, you can do video, but today we're doing page. So I'll press on page, and you will get you should have an add title staring at you. So this is where, if you're converting from text to Spark, this is where you want to have your document as well showing. So I'm just going to, this might be very small on your screen now. But when I'm working alone, I'll kind of split screen and I'll have my document here. There's a little tip that John showed me. And I will copy and paste into my Spark page. So if you just
sorry
use
to interrupt.
Yep.
Do you mind sharing the actual link to the whole Google Drive? The one that you shared is just a direct link to the document itself, but not the entire folder.
Thank you. Yeah, I will. Thank you. I thought that's what I was sharing, but I guess I wasn't. Sorry about that. And thank you for bringing it up. Copy link. Chat. Where's chat now? Chat. Oops. I lost my chat. Oh, there it is. Okay. How's this one? Will that take you there?
It seems to be the same one, I think.
Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Ah, this looks different. Yeah, okay. Let's try this one. Is that the same one? Yeah, it looks the same, eh? Oh no.
Oh, that's good.
Is that the one?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So now you have the whole drive. Okay. So so as I was mentioning, I often just have I'll split the screen and I'll have my document kind of side by side. And so that's the beauty of, kind of preparing this on a Word doc before. It makes it so much easier to build your page. But for the purpose of the workshop, I'll move this over because I think it's gonna be too small on your screen, right? If you're viewing this. So I'll just make this bigger. But before, sorry? Oh, okay.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna.
okay, John's talking. All right. So now John's muting. So we're gonna add a title. So that will be our first step. So I will just simply copy the my title from my document already, and I'll just click on add title and I'll put paste. Right. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're doing a lot of copying and pasting, or you can just, if you want to just build, you can just start typing, right? So it's as easy as that. And please let me know if I'm going too quick. But I want to make sure I get most of everything in, but just let me know and I can stop. Okay. So this is where I would add my title. There's a little section for a subtitle, and sometimes I'll put in, okay, I'll put the title of my document, and then I'll put, okay, well, this is for my professional selling class, or maybe the course code, or maybe a date, whatever you like. Okay. So at this point, you'll see if you just click on it on the bottom here, the plus, it'll show you the next step. It wants you to add a picture. This is where the fun begins. This is where you get lost. I love this part. You can either upload a picture you have with upload photo, and that will take you right to your computer. Okay, and then you can get lost in your pictures. Okay. For this, but I want for the sake of time, I'm gonna use the find free photos. So if I want to find a picture that's going to represent my topic, I usually start with the title, selling project, or the title of the overall course. So professional selling, in this case, selling, professional, I can't spell right now, selling. So this pulls from a database from Unsplash, and they are free pictures. You are able to use them without getting a lawyer sending you a note. What's cool about Adobe is they'll actually capture the credits from Unsplash and put it into your page, so you don't have to worry about worrying about citation. So I'm just trying to find an appropriate picture. It may not be the one that I actually originally chose. But I'm just for fun, I'm just going to pick this one, but you can go ahead and pick whatever you want. Okay. Whatever you think best represents. So and you can always go back and change them, right? So if you click on the banner again, I can go and press replace. I do this constantly. Christine, you'll probably remind me to do this, right? And
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
I can feel your presence. But if you see that I've just pressed, I'm going to do this again. So if I click on it, it gives me a focal point feature. So when I press the focal point, it shows how the image is going to show up on an iPhone or a phone in the right corner. It shows portrait mode. So if I wanted to position it so that the two hands are shown, I can do that. I can drag it over and then I press save. So it helps with kind of that design. There's some other things in there too, Christine? Can't remember which, let me know which other ones.
That's pretty much it for the first photo, but there are other photo options kind of later on. Okay,
later on, thank you. Okay, so the next stage is on my instruction sheet. I want to go to the why. I want to tell my students what this project's all about. So I'm just gonna, okay, what do I have in the why? So I'm going to start by I'm just going to add text. So if I go to my document now, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing in my document. So this is how I usually start. I'll just kind of go take the whole thing. Okay, copy the whole thing. And then I'm going to go into text. And then I'll just paste all the text in there. And then you can start to design. So I will use, H1 is heading 1, and that will make that bigger. Or, you can play around with different features here. If I wanted, maybe this section to come across as more of a quote, like I'm speaking to them, this is their quote symbol. By the way, these design features are tied into themes, which I forgot to mention. So if I press themes at any point, I can go down and change the look. So right now, I believe it's in crisp. I'll just, if I press crisp, oh, no, it changed it. So you can kind of play around with different looks as you're going through it. I've decided to embed a brand into my page, which is another setup feature. And that's where I was able to use the proper hex colors for Algonquin College. And so I tend to just stick with my branding, my brand themes. So you can see where you can kind of change the look as you go along. I think I'll just stick with that for now. Okay. So this is kind of, and so as you see, I can also move, if I say I want this whole thing to be part of a conversation or text, I could do that as well. You know, and you can make things. This is not going to look like the one I sent you, by the way, because I forgot what I did in the original one. But I hope you get the idea of the different things you can do. So the next, just moving on to the next step, I'm going to go into the what. So what is this? What do my students have to start doing to complete this project? So I'm going to simply do this same thing I did up here, and I'm going to copy what my next steps are. But this time I want to actually add a bit more of a visual representation. So just following the instructions, I want to use a glide show to describe my next steps. So I'm going to go into glide show. So you can see you have these different features here: photo, text, button, video, photo grid, glide show, and split layout. Glide show is kind of cool. It allows you to add multiple pictures and embed text on top of those pictures. So the effect I want is I want to use that visual prompt as well as text prompt to hopefully connect what I want them to do. So that's the idea. So when I look at my outline again, I'm really thinking, okay, what represents those steps in a picture form? So I'm going to look at, okay, knowledge bases. Okay, well, I'm going to just type in knowledge in my pictures. And again, you could use your own pictures as well. And I'm going to just kind of quickly pick stuff that pops up just to, or you know what, there's some reason, I think research is better. So research. I think I use this one. My next step I want to talk about is it's a pre-planning dialogue stage. So I'll just type in dialogue, see what it says, see what kind of pictures it pops up. So I'm just picking pictures quickly. And then the next one's going to be a written proposal. I think I typed in business plan. Oh, that didn't pop up anything. Or report. I think you get the idea. Okay. The last one was a presentation or making the sale. So selling. It's usually, there we go. So now that I have my pictures that represent what I want to say, I can just press save. That's going to pop those pictures right in to your Spark page. Okay. And then what I can do is go back and I can add the text after and to connect with pictures. So I just go into T and I simply go back to my outline and add the verbiage in for each section. Copy. I'm just going to add in the MSP1. I won't do it for all of them, just for the sake of time, but paste. Oh, it didn't capture. Copy. Paste. There we go. And what I find helpful is I pre-numbered some points in the document, and it kept those in my Spark page. I wanted that to happen, but I want this to look a little nicer or easier to read. So I want this to be bold or a heading 1. Again, I put a little quote there to cue me to remind myself to press quote here. Maybe I'll bold this. So you can find, whatever, works well with what you feel would be, would be appropriate. I'll keep this the same. I find this a bit long though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this text. How do you do it? There it is. See the little arrows that pop up? You can actually move this around. And what I find when you go to the middle, it makes it wider. So I find that's why, so when you have a lot of text, I tend to move things to the middle so that it doesn't go down the page too much.
Patrick,
Yep.
You have a theme that you're working with, which can change the colors of the words, right? The font color, but can you change the font color without using a theme by just choosing a color for
No.
Okay. That was my question.
Yeah, it's limited. It's limited, but I think it's limited in a good way. In a sense, again, this is it's really designed for kind of easy, what's the best word, John, to describe that? So you don't have the ability to kind of change.
It's just kind of intuitive. So it makes its own theme and determines what colors would be best.
Makes the decision for you, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
But if you get really comfortable, like you can make your own theme and then you can choose which colors you want to use there. But like based on like paragraph to paragraph, you can't choose within those text functions. It'll just kind of take it from the theme on its own.
Yeah, it just makes it easy for people who don't know how to set up specific design attributes. It picks your fonts, picks your background color, picks your foreground color, picks your heading formats. So you just kind of pick and choose a theme that kind of fits the way you're feeling.
See, I like that one.
And later on, when you get more experience, you can define your own theme.
Yeah, no, I was just liking Patrick's green Algonquin College look there.
Oh, okay. I'll show you how I
his,
did that. Yeah, for sure. That's a compliment. Thank you. I'm not a designer. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, that's the branding feature in the. I'll show you that how I did that. And I used the because Christine taught me how to find hex numbers, and I was able to find our hex numbers and put that into the. And really, it's just out of fear. I don't want marketing to come after me and say, "Hey, you can't use AC that way and this way." I was able to embed. So that's a setup feature, and I'll show you that in a bit. Yeah, for sure. It won't be long. So I think we get the idea of.
And by the way, that's a premium.
That's a premium feature. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a premium feature which we get with our Creative Cloud license. If you just use the free Spark account, then you can't do your own themes. But that's something we can do because we have a college paid for Creative Cloud license.
I'm going to speed it up here and just kind of show you a few other features. I won't complete the page, but I think you get the hopefully you get the idea. Just kind of show you the adding links in. I find really handy if you want to add in YouTube's. Anything that's a YouTube fits in quite nicely. Anything that's not a YouTube, it won't take a file. It won't take a video file. So it has to be something that's posted on YouTube. It actually tells you right here, Vimeo or Spark Video.
Okay. Just going to ask about Vimeo. Okay.
Yeah, so it says, yeah, and it says it right there. So you just need to embed that link in there. So it's quite, it's simply just going to YouTube and finding that link and embedding that in there. and it pops up quite quickly. So I'll just find a YouTube, hopefully something that,
And I'll mention as well, like, obviously with video, sometimes you don't have it on YouTube, like it's just something that's local to your computer. But if you have that, you unfortunately can't upload it into Spark. So what you can do is you can upload it to YouTube and make it unlisted. So no one can find it if they're searching it, but you
Right.
can actually host it on YouTube and then link it to your page. So that's a way to kind of get around that.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing with my students is I've been actually just creating my own videos because I can edit them, and then I just do an unlisted, exactly what Christine said, unlisted YouTube, and then embed the link into my Spark page. I know if I know that we have my media as well, and we have all these different tools as well to embed in Brightspace. But I just found from an editing perspective, it just seemed to work easier. So far that's my hack, but I'm sure there's others out there. And then just I use this a lot, the button feature. So if I want to add in links to websites, so please, please read this Forbes article. You could type in a title, whatever it is, and then you can embed a link to any website, and I'll center the button, and I'll just, you just find a, I'm just going to add this link. Just add any link will do, right? And you just add it there. So I do that a lot, and I'll have students, read an article before class or after class, that kind of thing. Oh, it didn't take that for some reason. I don't know why.
I have a question, Patrick.
Yep.
So when you have photos and you have those text boxes coming in over top of them, can you resize those text boxes? Sorry, I missed that part. Or
Okay,
can you change the size of boxes that come in?
Kind of just on auto formatting. It'll size to it'll automatically size to what content you have.
Okay.
Sorry, is it these boxes here?
Yeah, those boxes that come through.
Yeah, I think that so even when I move it over to the left, it will go more narrow.
Okay.
Automatically. And if I go over to the right, it'll stay the same. But if I go in the center, it'll go bigger, wider.
Yeah.
I'm gonna so when you're kind of ready, or when you want to see what it's gonna look like, you can press preview, and that will show what your viewer will see if they have the link. So that's kind of the glide show, or the kind of the web view. If I wanted to present this in a class, I can view it as a present mode. There's the present button. So this is what I usually do for sessions, because it kind of works like a PowerPoint. I can just press my arrow key to the right, and I can just kind of quickly jump, right? I just press escape. And then when I'm happy with my, when I'm ready to share, I just press publish. It will create that link that you can share with. I usually, this you can have on to keep the author's name on there. That will be your own name. It'll have photo credits that you've used from Unsplash. The get notice button, I usually put that off. That's an Adobe thing that allows Adobe community members to view your stuff. So I keep it off, but that's up to you. And then I just create the link simply. This is the best feature of this whole tool, is you create the link so that you can distribute it. You simply copy that link, and boom, you can post it in Brightspace for your students to see. I stay away from these. I just kind of copy it and I just post it in my email or put it in Brightspace, and I just don't bother with. But there's different ways you can share. The critical thing though that you'll want to know is when you do a change, like, okay, let's just say I just changed the theme, or I change any content, it will, and then you press share again, publish again. It will keep this will never change. This number will never change. This is the button you press, update link, and that will change that information. So whoever you sent that link to previously will get that new information.
It's always
You don't
current.
have to send a new link.
Mm.
That's one of the best features of this tool, other than making it really easy for me to create a visually appealing material. I'm looking at the time, Val. How we doing?
Yeah. Sorry, keep talking to myself. Get good answers that way. So if you'd like to continue for another few minutes, sort of for the two folks that are here, feel free. Or if you'd like to wrap up, we can do that as well, and maybe they can link up with you later.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few minutes, so if but I don't want to hold anybody, so it just like maybe just jump into the Q&A now, perhaps. Is there anything specific that you'd like me to go over again, or anything additionally that or any comments?
Well, I just like to say it worked, Patrick, for me.
Good.
While you were talking, I built my presentation, or I started
Awesome.
building it, and I hadn't been doing as well before, but now I'm just off to the races. So thank you very much.
Okay.
You did have that, you did show us before that other presentation that you had, and it had sort of had a chart with a two-sided how you built it link. Do you have that link to
Oh,
put in
so the workshop outline?
Yeah,
Okay.
like how it there was it was a link earlier that I missed, and it showed you how you
okay.
built a specific presentation. So I'd like to read that.
Yeah, so that was it's entitled the Designing a Multimodal Assignment Prompt. That's the document you need. Okay. So I'll share that drive again right now. And can you just verify that you are able to
Sure.
see it? So I'm going to share it
Patrick,
right now.
are you able to send that via email to
Yep, I can do that as well.
Yeah.
If you could copy me on the email on that, that would be better for me too.
Yeah, feel free to just email it to us, Patrick. That would be awesome. So yeah, any and all links you had to stuff you that shows us the how to build stuff to more how to build, that would be great.
Yeah. So again, Patrick, this session is being recorded. So for folks that I think Olu just popped in now, if you'd like to review what happened in this session, then we will be posting this information in the course shell probably next week sometime. Okay.
So if I just put my email in the chat line as well, if you don't mind just sending me a quick email, and I'll reply back with all the information from the workshop as well. In the original Spark page that I shared, it had all the links in there too, including it should have the Google Drive link. I'll make sure I'll double check that one, and then I'll go into update, and then that will work too on the page. Yeah, any questions, any follow-up, I'm happy to address as well. If you missed out or you weren't able to get it here at the beginning. So I want to thank John and Christine as well. Thanks for holding my hand and being part of this. And Val, thank you for inviting us to speak.
Yeah, so on that note, thank you so much for agreeing to do this and for assembling this great workshop.
Yeah.
And actually it worked, I think, even better with a smaller group because it's just the nature of this type of workshop, right?
Yeah, it's very applied, yeah.
So I think it was valuable for those of us that were able to attend. So again, thank you for your generosity of spirit and for sharing. And hopefully you can join us in the next little wrap-up session. It's going to be a fun session.
Yeah.
DJ Rob Kershaw.
What time
So yeah, thanks again, and you will be in touch. We'll be sending a formal thanks in the next little while.